Video editing can be an overwhelming task, but it really doesn't have to be. In this video, I'm going to break it down for you and show you exactly how to edit all of your videos simply and easily. And when you're done with this video, you'll be able to edit your videos like a pro. Welcome to Creator Strategies. My name's Michael Driggers. On my first YouTube channel, I grew it from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in the first 30 days. And the reason why I did that was because I produced high quality videos. And I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to edit all of your videos, how to add in special effects, where to find your special effects, and then I'm going to give you some resources if you need some more help. Now, the tips and strategies that I'm going to go over in this tutorial can pretty much be used on any of the video editing platforms that you may be using. I'm going to use WeVideo because that's the video editing platform that I've used from the start. I use it because it's online, it's cloud-based, and there's nothing to download to your computer, and it's real simple to use for beginners. I was a beginner 5 months ago when I started my first channel. So you might be in that same position, and I've got links in the description below for all the tools that I use on my channel. Now let me log into my computer and I'm going to start showing you how to edit your videos. One thing to note about WeVideo is they do have apps available for your Android and also for your iPhone. So what I'm about to go over on the desktop is available on the apps, and I know that 70% of the folks on YouTube are just working off of their phone, so this is available on the app. Okay, so I'm logged into my WeVideo account now. So there's some basic functions that all video editing software has. One is you have to create projects. So whatever video that you're going to work on, you'll create a project. And then inside that project, you'll actually do some edits. I usually, when I'm starting doing edits, I will do a beginning edit, a couple middle edits, and then also a ending edit. It just makes it easier when you break those up. Then also you'll have media, and over here on the right hand side you can click import. I'll also show you a different way that you can import your media. Now that would be where you would upload whatever videos that you've shot or photos or audio files that you want to add into your videos. Next you have exports here. So this would be where any files that you're finished with and you wanted to either upload them to YouTube or Facebook or any one of the social media platforms, or you wanted to just download them to your computer or export them to Dropbox, whatever you're going to be using. So these are all the exports that I have. So we're going to go back to projects, and you're going to make a new project, and I'm going to title this one Test 1. So here they're asking you to add in some media if you've uploaded it to the server. I'm just going to click next because I'm not going to use any of the media that I've loaded. So you just would say create video here. They're going to ask you what size video would you like to use. I normally recommend 16 by 9. That seems to work best on YouTube. You can change this later if you wanted to. So over here on the right side, this is where you could actually play any of the videos once you have them loaded. This is also where you could change the size of the videos, whether you wanted it a square or leave it at the 16 by 9. Okay, let me go over the basic functions that are available on most video editing software. First off, on the left-hand side, this is again where you can import media. You just would click import, and then you can drag it, or you could actually click browse and select it from wherever you have the media stored. This is a function where you can record, so I'm using this right now to do the screen recording. Most of the video editing software allows you to record your screen, and so does WeVideo. This narrate button right here is where you can actually do a voiceover of a video. You could turn the volume off of a video that you're editing, and you could use this to narrate over.
Now guys, I just want to go over these functions first before we go over them in greater detail. I just want you to know what's available first. This one here is just some text that you can overlay on your videos.
They have some music that you can add in. They have some sound effects that you can add in. So they have some premium music that you can add into your videos. If you just click on this one right here.
Transitions are what you can use between scenes, and I'll show you how to use these.
If you look, this would be a crossfade, the way that it fades between the scenes. This is a more dramatic transition here, but you get the general idea. Some backgrounds that you could use throughout your videos. So inside WeVideo, they have a stock media section. If you have one of their premium subscriptions, you can actually get up to 1 million different pieces. If you look here, they have video, they've got photos, and they also have audio. I use this for a lot of the special effects. The first channel that I created, I was not actually on the video. I hired a voiceover artist to do all of the audio. I used all of the video footage that WeVideo provides in their premium subscription, and I also used the music that WeVideo provides. If we look at the videos here and we just type in beach scenes, they provide you with some videos of beaches. With the tools that WeVideo provided, I was able to really compete with the professionals as an amateur and really have great success. Because what I'm about to show you now is very simple for anyone to do, and it doesn't take long to kind of get the hang of what we're doing here. So here's some basic functions that you need to know. So here is your timeline. This is 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, and so on of your video. Right here in the center is the media which I've loaded or recorded, ready to be edited. So all you would do is you would take this media and you would click on it and drag it down and then put it in this first video 1 position. Now, because I already had some media in line down here, it's going to ask me, do I want to insert and push the media down the line? And I'm going to say yes, insert and push. So I will click here, and now it put that in place. So now it put this media in the first position and moved the rest of it down the line. So that's the way I normally would recommend you put your media in there, is insert and push it down the line. So on the left-hand side, you have video 1, video 2, and then you have your audio right here. If you wanted to add an audio track, you just would pull it down and place it right here. If you wanted to add another video 2, you'd place it right above this video in the video 2 spot. You may have heard of the term B-roll, B as in boy. The way that you add in special effects is usually it's in your B-roll, where you have your main footage here, A, and then you're wanting to add in additional footage into this B section right here. I drug this thank you down into the B section. So what that means when you have B-roll is your A footage is your primary, and then anything you put in B in the video section right here is going to play over A. So I'm going to click play over here on the right hand side, and you're going to see exactly how this works with the B-roll taking over the A. From 0 to 1,000 subscribers. I did it because I produced something. Now as you'll see, B basically took over A. There's no audio with this thank you that I drug down, so you didn't hear any extra audio in there, but you were still able to hear the audio from A because I had not turned it off for video 1. So anyway, that's the general idea of how you add in some B-roll footage. Now I'm going to show you how to edit this B-roll footage, and I'm also going to show you how to edit this A footage right here. The way that you would add, you can add more tracks here. So you just would click this plus button right here, And then you could add more video, you can add audio, or you could add a watermark, which would be like having your logo up in the left hand or right hand corner, or somewhere on the video you could have your logo throughout the entire video if you wanted to add a watermark. So I'm going to show you how I can add another video. I'm just going to click add video track, and now you'll see I have 1, 2, 3 video sections here. So let's take a look at this first clip right here. I'm going to show you the basic functions of editing this video. So if you click on the video, once you've pulled it down into the video 1 position, you have the pencil which shows edit. Here are some basic edit functions available on all the platforms. One is moving this scale. And this is kind of neat how you can do the zoom, or you can zoom in or zoom out. You can also blur the background. If you're taking videos on your phone, one of the things that you may have not done, which is turn your phone sideways so that you get a 16:9 video. If you have your phone straight up and down, then it makes it a real narrow video. So if your video didn't take up the full screen, you could blur the background, and that helps out a pretty good bit. So let's bring it back to full view. You can rotate the picture or the video. Having fun there. Okay, you can flip it. So again, it's doing similar things there. You can make it fit to the screen right here. It's already fitted to the screen. When you're recording off of your phone, I'm using my iPhone to record these videos when I'm in person. And if you turn your phone sideways, then it fits to the screen perfectly, is why there's no change here. So cropping, you can move the sides in if you wanted to, left and right, and then the top and the bottom. The audio level, you can increase the audio level or you can decrease the audio level. There's a lot of different places where you can move the audio around. Fade in, fade out. If you want the audio to build in, you can say how many seconds would you want it to build in. And then if you wanted a crescendo at the end, you could say how many seconds do you want it to fade out. So there's your fade in, fade out. There's also a button that you can check to make it real easy. I'll show you here in a second where they automatically do it for you. Animation. This just makes your picture move and add some animation there. I don't use animation that much, but it basically will make your photo. If it's just a still photo, you can click animate it and it makes the photo actually move. It really doesn't apply in a video. If you're not in the best lighting, you can make tweaks here. Always natural light is typically going to be your best friend when making videos. But you can adjust the brightness. You see how that's making a difference there. You can make it darker if it was too bright. So you have contrast. You can just play around with all these and get your video the way that you want to. Saturation. So anyway, you should get the general idea of how you can change those. In this color keying section, this is mostly what we use when we want to remove a background or remove a certain color from a video. And we use this when you're adding in a lot of special effects, especially with the green screen. And I'll show you how to use this later, but you click on this dropper and then you tell the dropper to remove whatever color. I'm not using a green screen on this video, so it wouldn't work well, but I will show you here shortly how to do some special effects with the green screen. I know you've seen a lot of videos where they've increased the speed or decreased the speed, and this is where you can do that. You can go 10 times as fast. Now let me click play and let's watch it in 10 times fast speed. So you get the general idea. And then of course you could slow it down to 10 times as slow, and it should really just barely move if you wanted to do some slow motion. You can also click here and it says open opacity options. Now opacity is how bright you want the video to be, and sometimes you may want to fade in the video. So if we'll click on the opacity, if you'll click the fade in, and let me back it up and let's play and see how the video actually fades in. See how that faded in? Now I'm going to slide this down by pulling this. And now you'll see how slow the transition and it fades in. See how slow it's fading in right there because I changed that. So you could play with that as far as how you wanted it to fade in. If you just wanted to make it dim, I brought this down to about 50%. So you could actually just not have it very bright at all if you wanted to. So this is back at 100%. So when you're editing a clip and you're finally wanting to drill down and start doing some major edits to the video, down here on the right hand side, this is where you can adjust using the slider. Now you can see the audio in greater detail so that you can actually cut out some scenes, and it shows you where the audio begins. And the other slider, you can actually move it down back and forth. Now you'll notice the difference between this audio here and this audio here. As you notice, the blue bars right here, they're indicating that I'm loading some more footage up to the server. And as I'm waiting on that footage to load, I can still edit it, but I can't see the audio in great detail until it's finished loading to the server. So if you click on this clip right here, just as we were talking about the opacity, let's talk about the volume. If you click on the volume there, you could make the volume fade in or out. And if you'll notice how it actually faded out right here, and if you go back to the beginning of the clip, now it's faded in also. If you wanted to change that, you can just move the volume around. This would be moving it down to 50%. Clicking back on the volume, you could actually just get rid of the volume totally on there. So now it doesn't have any volume. So let's put it back. This is another way to adjust the volume. You can increase or decrease it. You can get rid of that fade in or fade out on the volume. Let's just say, for example, you didn't want this audio, or you didn't like this audio right here. You could actually click here and then click it again, and then you could drag it down, and you could click here and click here and drag it back up. And now what you're telling the software to do is to cut out that volume. So now as I click play, you will not hear the volume because we turned the volume off. So if you wanted to re-record that section, you could bring the cursor kind of back to the beginning. You could click narrate right here, and then you could do what's called the voiceover, and they would add the voiceover track down here underneath this section right here that you're telling the computer to do the voiceover for. If you just wanted to cut that section of the video out entirely, you put this cursor where you want it, you actually click the scissors here, and then you can move it down. You could highlight it and then click the scissors again, and now you could delete that section. And then you could click on this one and you could drag it back into place like that. Now let me go over one of the most important things you can do when editing the video, is clicking right here on effects, and you open the clip effects editor. So what I like to do is actually click on this sharpen. So what this does is it sharpens the video and makes it look a lot crisper. And so when you're taking video, a lot of times I have noticed that my videos have kind of a hazy effect on them. And when I click sharpen, it takes out almost 90% of that haziness. So you'd always want to leave the sharpen, but if you wanted to make it black and white, if you wanted to have some strange effects, you could just play around with some of these other effects that are available to your video. The only one that I use is this sharpen right here, but I use it all the time because it really makes my videos crisp. Now, just like we adjusted the audio, you can also adjust the opacity as well. So if you click on the opacity, you see it's actually highlighted green. If you wanted to cut that section of the video out, or at least hide the video during that section, you could just do what I did on the audio a second ago. Now watch what happens to the actual video when I click play. So now it disappears. Now you can still hear the audio, but the videos disappear. And now you see it come back in. Now at this point, I want to go over some of the special effects and how you can add those into your video. One of the first special effects that I want to talk about is adding text over your video. So if you'll click text here, again, this is the sample right here, but if you wanted to add text over your video, you just would click it and drag it down. Now let's drill down using our slider over here to get a closer look. So again, it has an editor in there also, and if you'll click edit, we need to change the color so we could actually see it better. I'm going to change it to red. We need to change the text, so I'm going to say hello. Let's change the font and do this Alpha Slab 1 to make it a little more bolder. You can change the size of the letters by actually clicking here and just making it larger. You can just grab it and drag it around. And let's see if you wanted to put it up here. It will make it smaller, or we'll make it larger. Again, you could move the scale here also. You could flip it, or you could rotate it. And then we just hit Save Changes. So now if you want to back up, and hit play, and you'll see it come in right there. If you wanted to make this longer, you could just drag it and make it the whole length of the video if you wanted to. If you wanted to add more text, you could just drag more text on top of that text. And you could go through the same process and just click edit on each one of these. I use the arrows a lot. I had to use the arrows in this tutorial, so I just would pull the arrow down. I would click edit on the arrow. I'd change the color, and then I'd move it around to where I needed to. If I needed to point to my head, it's right there. If I wanted to make it larger, or if I wanted to make it smaller, you just move it around right there. And I can change it by dragging these little circles around. I can change it to the way that they're pointing, or drag them around. If I wanted to point to the flower, I just would point like right there. You hit save. And so let's back it up and watch the arrow come in. And there it comes in. And then when it gets to the end, it's going to disappear. If you wanted to add in some audio and have some music playing in the background, of course, you can do this for the special effects or any of the music here. But if you just wanted to get a sample, here's some of the free music that's available. All right. And if you wanted to just put it, all you'd do is do the same thing. You just would drag it in place and drag it down here. And now you have some background music. If that's too loud, you could actually just pull the volume down. A lot of times I run the background music down at 2% down here. So then you can barely hear it in the background, but hopefully you get the general idea. One of the most common special effects is just adding in transitions. So since this is highlighted right here, I'm going to click Cut. And I'm going to click on Transitions. And I'm going to pull this transition down, this cross dissolve, and put it right here. Let's see how it works out in between these clips. And there's how it dissolves in. So let's go back to My Media. All of these special effects are B-roll, but one of the most common special effects that people always talk about is using the green screen. So I'm going to pull a green screen element in here right now. Okay, since this thank you is in the B position, or the video 2 position, it's overtaken the video on video 1. So I'm going to open up the editor here. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to go back to that color keying, and I'm going to click the eyedropper, and I'm going to tell it to remove this color right here. So now you can see it's over it. I'm going to go right here to the scale, and I'm going to pull it down. And I'm going to drag the thank you over here. Make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to hit Save Changes. So now, when I click play, you add in that special effect. Now earlier I tried to create a special effect using a green screen. I tried many different colors. I put bed sheets behind me, and I really couldn't find anything that worked that great. The only thing that I found that was a green screen was my wife's sweater right here. So I actually laid down on the ground and recorded some simple footage just for illustration purposes to play around with, to show you how a green screen would work. So if you are going to do green screen footage, I recommend you go get a green sheet to put behind you, because it will work out the best. The reason why I think it doesn't work out with other colors is because I had a red sheet and I had red in my face, so it deleted some of the elements in my face. I used brown, and brown deleted a lot of the features around my face. It deleted my eyebrows and my eyes. So ultimately I had to go with green. So here was the footage. So I'm just going to drag it down, and I'm going to click the edit. I'm going to click the color keying. I'm going to tell the computer to remove this green. Hit Save Changes. And there it is. So I still need to edit it. Now I need to drag it over. Then I'm going to flip it and put me right there in the right side. Hit Save Changes. And now let's watch.
And let me start showing you how to edit your videos. Reporting live from Kosovo. You can see all of my...
Some of the green is still showing up around my face. It's really because of the shadowing right here, and it wasn't 100% green because some of the shadows behind there. So you'd have to play around with it to get it to work exactly right. But hopefully you get the general idea. So I'm going to delete this. So right now I'm going to go over to the stock media section. I'm going to type in the word subscribe. And I'm going to show you how this is probably going to be one of the most common elements that you would add into one of your videos. One of the like, subscribe, share buttons. So again, we're going to click edit on the clip editor, and we're going to go to the color key. We're going to ask it to remove the green. Then we're going to click this scale. We're going to shrink it down. We're going to pull it up here on the left-hand side so our subscribe button is up there. We'll hit Save Changes, and then let's see how it works. So there's our subscribe that showed up in the top left. So at this time, it would be a good time for me to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, then click like. If you hate it, click the thumbs down. Make a comment below, ask any questions. Feel free to jump in there. Now, if you don't have one of the premium subscriptions to WeVideo or another source, I'm going to show you a source that everybody can use to get these elements that I've been showing here to add into your videos. Okay guys, we're going to start going over the next tool in the toolkit, which is canva.com. Again, I've got links in the description for everything that we're talking about in this video. If anybody does use the links, most of the links are affiliate links, which means that if you sign up for one of the paid options, the companies will actually send a referral fee over. And I greatly appreciate anybody that does sign up through those links. So let's go start looking at the tool. So I'm logged into my account over here on canva.com. The cool thing about Canva is everybody can use it. They have a free option and it's free forever. They also have a premium option, and I do have the premium option, but it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $12.95 per month. But again, you can use all the features on the free option as well. Now this is not going to be a full tutorial. I do have a video that you can click on at the end of this video that goes over how to make awesome thumbnails and how to edit photos on Canva. So you can click on that video if you'd like. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you where to find all the cool green screen elements, all the cool features you can add in on your YouTube videos. So to start off, you need to create a design. So I'm going to click Create a Design here. I'm going to click Custom Size. I've already got it typed in here, 1000 by 750. That kind of makes a rectangle, and I think rectangles work the best on YouTube. So right here on the left-hand side, you can just click Photos, and let's type in subscribe. And these are a ton of subscribe buttons that you could use, for YouTube that come up. The other spot is right here where it says elements. You just click on elements. So let's do the same thing, type in subscribe. And here's a ton of the elements you can pull over. So you just would pull one of them over. And there it is. Anything that you want, you could just click download it to your computer, and then upload it to whatever your video editing software is. Now there's something very important that you need to keep in mind when you go click download right here, is you want to make sure you click transparent background. If you don't, then your background is going to be white, and you don't want a white background. You want it to be see-through or transparent, so that all that's in the center is this little subscribe button right here. If you don't click transparent, it's not going to come out like you want it. So be sure to remember to click this button to make it transparent. So moving down, this is where I get most of the green screen elements in videos. So I typed in subscribe right here, and there's just a ton of different buttons. Let's see what this one is here. If you click subscribe, that one looks pretty cool. Now what you'd want to do here is you want to make sure to fill up the entire space before you downloaded it. So I'm just dragging out the edges. And let's click play and see what it looks like. There's your standard subscribe that you see on a lot of different channels. So right here, what you would do is just click download, then you would upload it to your software or your program that you're using. And then you would just remove the green screen like I showed you earlier in the tutorial. And then you'd have your regular subscribe button like everybody else on YouTube. The last thing is in the more section right down here. These are two other popular websites that people get a ton of photos from. So if you click on pexels.com, there are just a ton of free photos you can use. They've got it linked up there where you don't actually have to go to their site. Well, let's go back and click more. Or you would go to pixabay.com, and on Pixabay, if you did subscribe, there's a few other subscribe buttons that you could use on Pixabay. You can get a ton of photos from those two websites. And then lastly, you could click on the emojis. And there's all your emojis that you could find, you could download and use them on your YouTube videos. You should be able to find a ton of material on Canva and really have a field day as far as adding in different special effects on your videos. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and now you feel more confident in doing your video editing. If you want to learn more about doing keyword research, I've got a video coming up on the screen that's going to show you how to figure out what keywords to use and how to get ranked in search. I also have a video that talks about how to make awesome thumbnails that get high click-through rates. That one's coming up on the screen as well. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'm glad to be part of your journey. Until next time.